And I had one experience that I mentioned in my book where I came across my wife's ex-boyfriend's soul. and, at the time, I was not a fan of this person on earth, and he was not a fan of me because I married his girl. I married the love of his life. And that's what happens with boys sometimes.
Yes.
But I sensed this incredible vast and richness of who he really was. And I sensed how his nature and my nature overlapped. And I felt like it was like oceans of color and how they overlapped, and how his nature overlapped with my wife's nature in a different way. Like I could see how they overlap. I could see how I overlapped with him.
Mm.
And I could feel how in this lifetime, he was attempting an extremely ambitious thing, like ridiculously ambitious thing of trying to express a certain kind of creativity while being squashed with, and the squashedness was he had experienced no love in his life. Like his parents didn't love him. He was, and it was like if you took Play-Doh and let a car tire roll over it and flattened it out ridiculously thin. That was how he felt, like so thin, like he barely any of them left. And even from that, he was trying to see how could he be creative. So I had so much respect for him, and I called him the next day, and because I said I knew what I experienced, and I knew he'd be okay with me talking to him. So I called him the next day and said, I think I saw your soul last night. I just got to tell you what I saw. So I shared with him for like 40 minutes. Then when I was done, he said, I have to say, if I was going to tell somebody who I really am, that's probably about what I would say. So ever since then, now he's close to the family.
Wow.
And now every time when I see him, I feel like kneeling to the guy. I mean, honestly, I feel like getting on one knee and just putting my forehead to the ground because I have so much respect for this man. And wow. Because that's like how, I mean, when we really see each other and sense what we've been through and who we are, that's how we are for each other. We love each other. I love you. Like, honestly, when I first saw your kindness, I was like, oh, Lee, he's so kind and good. You're such a good man. And I don't mean to turn it on you. I just want to express that while you have a chance.
Well, I must say, when I watched the first interview that I on your channel, and I thought,
I don't have a channel. It must have been someone else's
channel. It's your photograph. Maybe Lilia put this together, but it was your photograph, and then there were a whole bunch of interviews that you'd done with other people. Below that, I think some more material that you'd recorded yourself. So I'm calling it a channel, but I don't know what it is. A website. It might be. Do you have a website?
Oh, I do have a website. Yeah.
That's probably what it is then.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought you are so insightful. I mean, I really couldn't wait to talk to you. I thought this is so much insight into what's going on between this world and the next, or that world and this simulation.
I'm not worthy of that level of praise, but I'm happy to help if I can. And I had a moment a few days ago where I was really like feeling doubtful, because I'm like, man, every time I open my mouth, I just can't possibly say. Like, I feel like I'm blaspheming just by trying to talk. And I felt the Spirit come to me and say, no, keep going. Just keep sharing. This is good. Keep sharing.
Absolutely. You're doing God's work here. This is what the world needs to hear.
That's what I feel like. I'm trying to do God's work. And I feel it in my bones. Like, I feel like when I first did the first interview, like 3 or 4 years ago, I thought maybe 5 people would hear it. Because I was hesitant to come out of the closet, and like share this stuff's pretty non-mainstream. It's not like, I'm a nuclear project manager by trade. Well, I was until July 2nd. I have a different job. I'm gonna have a different job soon, probably, but I'm a normal guy. Like, I don't share this kind of thing. And when I shared it, after I went for a walk, and I felt the Spirit. And I just felt like these probabilities had shifted. Like, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And now, like, I feel like I'm doing what I'm called to do. Like, the Christian term is this is my call. This is a Christian term, but this is my call. I feel called in my bones. Like, my bones feel this. And it's just, we need to encourage each other. Oh, there's a